Thank you, thank you. So imagine something with me, if you will. You're standing in front of a mirror, making sure that you are set for the day, when suddenly the reflection that you see of you and the room behind you seems to vanish. And if you remember the scene in Phantom of the Opera, the great play or movie, do you remember that amazing scene where everything comes out of the mirror? Well, just think for a second. There's this mirror, and your entire life, every memory, every experience, everything up until this present moment are there. Even today's little drama, when somebody cuts you off in traffic on your way to church, is right there. That experience is right there in that mirror. And so, as you watch this movie of yourself in that mirror, a voice inside of your head speaks to you.
Now you're looking at who you are.
No way. These are my life experiences. They are not who I am.
Oh yes, they are. A universal truth is that your life and all of your life experiences are a high-precision mirror. They show you, literally and metaphorically, who you are. Nothing in your life is not a reflection of who you are. This is the secret language of experiences, of events, and of things.
Nonsense. What about that guy that cut me off in traffic today? That was supposed to be a reflection of who I am?
Yes, even that. You are a fragment of the infinite, pure energy of creation. Through you and your adventures, it creates itself and knows itself. But you have forgotten this and don't recognize your own creations, though they flaunt themselves in front of you. Even your body is part of the life mirror generated by your inner being. But you won't get the full picture if you focus only on material experiences, even your physical body, because they are the shallowest reflection of who you are. Instead, look at your relationships, your interactions, your reactions, your dramas, and your recurring events. Then you will see the entire picture. Now please go create a good day.
Well, that's great. Now, no, nothing like a little pressure, but I'm so glad that I looked in the mirror this morning. I had no idea all of that was going to transpire. So have you ever had inner dialogue that was something like that? Looking in the mirror or not? Perhaps it didn't happen exactly like that, or your inner voice isn't as eloquent as Dennis's. You can come out now.
The greater one.
From behind the curtain. But it tells you the same things. And even though we may argue with that inner voice that it can't be true, there's no way I created this. That guy that cut me off in traffic today, there is no way I created that. We know that there is a validity to that. Really, don't we?
Yeah.
Well, anyone that's been around religious science, unity, New Thought, metaphysics long enough realizes that, even 30 seconds, that we are saying that we're responsible for our lives and everything in it. Because a fundamental truth, a spiritual truth, is that as within, so without. Who we are to the world is to us. As we give out, so we get back. As we sow, shall we reap. It's biblical. And to put it in today's title, our outer world reflects our inner world. So we look at the outer life. We look at our out of life and that reflection of what is going on the inside. Even if we kick and scream about it within. And we do sometimes. We all do. And we want to have different experiences. Of course we do when they're not going the way we want. Experiences that are more heartfelt, connected, abundant, healthy, deep, spiritual, joy-filled experiences. That's what we want to have. And sometimes life is not some of those things. Someone seems to always cut you off in traffic. It's just part of life. Am I speaking to anyone here? Anybody? I want to make sure you're with me. And that is because saying our lives is a reflection of who we are is not exactly accurate. Not exactly. In one sense, yes, it's true. But there's something so much more that is critically important for us to have as the entire picture. So this morning I want to explore the idea that our lives are a reflection of who we are. Ready? Are you ready?
Yes.
All right, let's get it going. I know it's hot in here, but we're going to go with the heat. Author, and I love this name, Anais Nin. I know that if you see it all, you know who she is. Anais Nin, N-I-N. She wrote this. This is really kind of cool. You do not see the world as it is. You see the world as you are. Modern physics is on the brink, if not over the edge right now, of agreeing with that statement. Scientists have discovered the mirror of their own minds inside the atom, where the existence and the behavior of the particles depend upon the scientist's intent. Get that? Wow. When science is done with these atom smashers, it will know that the fundamental building block of the universe is thought. Thought is a thing. Ernest Holmes talked about that. He wrote books, many books about that in the 20s.
Yes.
Thoughts are things, leaving a physical signature we don't always recognize as our own. It's as if, this is cool, it's as if we throw out these boomerangs and then forget that we threw them out. And then they come back, and we look around and wonder where the heck that just came from. Something happened in your life, you go, how did I create this? So we keep throwing these boomerangs, and some returning with these wonderful, pleasurable experiences, and some of them, they return to us as pain. This parable from the wisdom of the Sufis speaks to it beautifully. One day a stranger entered the village and seeks out the local Sufi master for advice. He says, I'm thinking of moving to this village. What can you tell me about the people that live here? And the Sufi master replies, what can you tell me about the people who live from where you came from? Ah, said the visitor angrily. They are terrible people. They are robbers. They are cheats. They are liars. They stab each other in the back, not even in the front. Well, now, said the Sufi master, isn't that a coincidence? That's exactly what they're like here. So the man departs the village, not to return again. And soon after, another stranger enters the village. He also is seeking out the Sufi master for advice. And he says, I'm thinking of moving to live in this village. What can you tell me about the people that live here? And the Sufi master replies, what can you tell me about the people who live in the village that you came from? Ah, said the visitor fondly. They are wonderful people. They are kind and gentle and compassionate, and they look after each other. Well now, said the Sufi master, isn't that a coincidence? That's exactly what they're like here. No way around it, folks. I've tried. Doesn't work. We take our inner selves with us wherever we go.
Yes.
Changing external circumstances is like walking up to the movie screen and trying to change the picture on the screen from there. And I'm reminded last Monday, I took my twin grandsons to their first movie, which was such a thrill. One of them loved it, the other one not so much. The one that loved it, though, it just struck me as I was doing this talk. He kept turning around, never been to a movie before, and he kept turning around and saying, there's a movie up there. There's another movie up there. He was looking at the projection, knew to look up there. How did he know to look up there? Something within him, that innate genius that is within each and every one of us, was active in him. And in his innocence of not knowing how all of this cinematography works, picked up on that. Our world can only be changed from within, because that's where it comes from. To change our inner world, we must become gatekeepers of our own thoughts, welcoming those that we want to create those wonderful experiences with, and reframing those thoughts that create what we don't want. So actually do a mind check. See what's going on in your thinking. It's like tending a garden. Do you nurture the vegetables or the weeds? And there's a beautiful passage from this thing called You by Ernest Holmes, Dr. Ernest Holmes, and it's on page 37, for those who have been asking for the pages. And just listen to this, because it's really pretty wonderful. He writes, "It is important that you maintain a strict censorship over your thinking, just as you watch your garden, that foreign seeds shall not fall into it, producing a growth of undesirable plants. So you must refuse entrance to any thoughts you do not wish to see manifested in your life. Guard well the garden of your mind. It's God's garden of your soul. It is the Garden of Eden, wherein may grow your fondest desires and hopes, blossoming into fulfillment, or if you permit, into weeds of destruction, fear, and doubt. They will choke out the beauty of hope until despair alone remains." And he continues, because I think this is a really good reading. "Watch carefully then the garden of your soul. Plant there only seeds of happiness, joy, peace, of goodwill. It may be necessary to cultivate your garden, to uproot the weeds and straighten out the rows, planting new seeds, new ideas, broader visions, and deeper realization of life. New aspirations must be bedded here, fertilized with the fervor of hope, the conviction of faith, the beauty of wholeness. Watch your garden carefully. Guard it patiently, waiting for a new harvest, for you shall reap what you have sown." So I'm particularly moved this morning by the idea of new seeds. And new seeds that can be planted into broader, more expanded visions and desires and realizations of our life. What we do with an experience, whatever that experience is in our lives, is really what counts. Because the experiences are going to happen. Have you noticed that?
Yes.
Stuff happens. What are we doing? How are we responding or reacting to those experiences as they come up? That's what really counts. How we look at it, the consciousness that we come from when we experience it. Can we have new ideas, broader visions, and deeper realizations about it? Challenge ourselves. We're constantly cleansing and replanting, reseeding our thoughts. And here's what can happen in our lives when we are expanding and growing, and all things are going well. One of the paradigms, which is a habit of thinking, believing, and feeling, will kick up a condition to bring us back to the thermostat setting of our normal. We all have our own normal, right? We all have that. Notice that we are being tempted to lower our frequency, and that's when we interrupt it. Just when we're going to go react to something, we interrupt it. The moment we become aware, and this is all about awareness, waking up to our true selves, become aware, we interrupt it. I interrupt this broadcast with a message from my soul. I consciously choose to release the old paradigm by not being at all interested in the condition. Unless there is a decision or an action to make, then you make your decision and your action. So don't worry, just take the action. Don't be staying in the experience, which we tend to do. And just knowing that always, no matter what is going on, that our very highest good is taking place, because the universe conspires to bring about our highest good. All of the time, if we really use these teachings practically apply these spiritual principles that we speak of every week, that we teach in the classes. So you see, life really is a reflection. It's a reflection of who you are. Actually, no, not quite. Here's a full picture, okay? Life is a reflection of who you believe you are. Life is a reflection of what our paradigms tell us we are, of who we are, and who has taught us. It's reflected of who we tell ourselves we are. What are you saying to yourself? Are you walking around saying, I'm a beautiful being of light? But it's really not who we are. It's what we're telling ourselves, what society or whatever you want, a collective unconscious is telling us. But we can know the truth about who we are. According to the Course in Miracles, we are the light of the world. That is our only function, to be the light of the world, to shine our light wherever we go. We change everything with that. That's why we're here. We're here to hold that high watch. So I want us to take a little journey this morning. I've done this quite a few years ago, but I think it's so perfect in here. So we're going to take a little journey this morning. Perhaps cover up, clean some of that debris that is covering up who you are, so that you believe you are and who you really are. And that is more aligned with God, with spirit, with infinite love, whatever you want to call this divine energy that is the great creator of all that is, was, and ever shall be. And when we align with that, that's when we can see the truth of our being. So that life can be a reflection of the light of the world that you are. Each of us is. So this is how we will ignite the spark of a divine flame that we have been speaking about this whole month. So go with me on this journey. I invite you to close your eyes, and I'll ask you this question. If you were a brilliant jewel, what would you be? An emerald? A sapphire? Diamond? Garnet? Amethyst? Pearl, ruby. Spend time envisioning the jewel, the size, the shape, the color, the depth, the brilliance. You, as this amazing jewel, are hanging out by the side of the road. Cars come along and splash mud on you. It's been raining, so a lot of mud splashes on you. The wind picks up now, and the leaves and grass and all sorts of debris stick to the mud, and pretty soon you are completely and totally covered in mud and debris. The jewel is nowhere to be seen. It is completely buried. It is still there, but not at all visible. Now you know you can't go walking along like that. I mean, what would people think? You being such a mess. So you decide that the best thing to do will be to cover up this mess. So you find a paint store, buy some beautiful colored paints, and paint a lovely exterior. And it looks very nice, very pleasing, quite acceptable. And you walk around with your lovely exterior. But the challenge is, the only you that you can remember is the mud and the debris. That's all you can remember. You think that's the real you. You know it's very, very unattractive, so you must keep it hidden. You have forgotten that under all that debris is the real you, the actual you, the brilliant you, the you before the mud got slugged on you, and then covered with leaves and grass and twigs and paper and garbage. Hose it all off. Just hose it all off. And notice, when you hose it off clean, how exquisite and brilliant the gem is. More beautiful than you thought before. Now take that jewel in your hands right now and see yourself holding it. And however you want to do this, bring it to you. Breathe it in. Bring your hands to your heart and let it merge with you. However you do it, bring your gem, this brilliant gemstone that you are, bring it into you. And in the moment you do that, you realize it is already there. And in this way, you have ignited the spark of the divine in you and have created an inner world that will reflect back to you an outer world of radiance and love. And so it is.
All right.